Let's talk Tom Brady.
Let's do it.
How great did he look?
I sent a mass text out to everyone I knew, and I said, Tom, the Bucs are going to win the Super Bowl. And then they fell apart towards the end.
No. Dude, he's getting used to, there's people breaking off their routes. He threw the pick six. Who gives a fuck? He did that with the Patriots. What I was impressed with, the zip on his ball still there. The competitive fire is still there. That's the deal, And I was, watching the Patriots. It was the same thing. Cam Newton's dealing with a new offense, a whole new team, new system and all that. And I watched what Bill Belichick was able to do with Matt Castle, who Matt Castle does not have, Cam's skill set. So I imagine that he's just going to, as we get through September, seeing, okay, this is in Cam's wheelhouse. This is a little too Tom. We need to make this more Cam. That's what he did with Matt Castle. Make this more Matt than blah, blah, blah. The guy is a fucking genius. The thing we need is the other thing. There's a couple of things that just scared me that, our quarterback had head and shoulders the most yards rushing. That scares me because that, he's a big dude, but he's, taking all those hits. And I just hope that guy Harry or somebody steps up so we have like a legit number 2 option. I don't know why we didn't sign. Danny Amendola is still killing. He's killing it for the fucking Lions. He had a great game for them last Sunday. We need a guy like that so it frees up Edelman to be single coverage.
I thought, what? This is silly, and I don't like.
Our O-line looked good though.
I don't like talking about like the politics and stuff of it. But I really enjoyed the protest that I think that the Falcons did on kickoff. Like I thought that was kind of cool that they did the kickoff and then everyone just took a fucking knee. I thought that was like.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand people that have like. I actually have friends of mine, back home. Will still argue. To me, they'll argue, Trump isn't racist or anything. It's just like, so you're telling me all those millions and millions and millions and millions of black people are wrong, but you as a white person understand their life experience more than they do?
Yeah.
Look, I'm just saying the da-da-da-da-da and all that type of shit. So, I mean, I don't know. It's a weird, it's a really weird time. And like the level of hostility, the level of racism that still exists that they make it seem like it left in the 1960s is just like it hasn't, man. It's like it's right. I mean, but it's also the news really. It's so fucking news is just so fucking reprehensible where they really like fan the flames of dividing people. And I was guilty last week because I talked about Trump saying, troops are losers and blah, 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 blah. And right after I did the podcast, I looked it up because it was interesting to me. How's he going to get out of this? And then I was just like, oh, this is just somebody said that he said it. And then this whole thing was written by people, super hardcore left. Oh, this is probably bullshit.
Yeah.
Or exaggerated and all of that. And then I got fucking hammered. I just, by people listening to my podcast, I was just like, you're right. So I mean, I've been guilty of doing that. And it's even stupid for me to bring it up because it's like, you're not going to, somebody's still good. If they're into the guy, they're still going to vote for him. So I'm just kind of excited that all of this shit's going to be over in like about a month.
It's going to, it's going to restart. I hate to say this. I definitely think Trump is getting reelected.
No. I know. But my thing is I'm sick of the, I really think like debates and all of that shit. I think there's a few really open-minded, amazingly smart people that haven't already made up their mind and are really listening to candidates or whatever and really want to hear the issues and are really impartial. But the other 99.9% of us knew who the fuck we were voting for probably 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I feel like Trump people a month into his presidency is like, I can't wait to vote for this guy again. And a bunch of liberals are like, we got to get this guy out. I don't think that there's people going like, well, let's see Joe Biden and let's see Trump and let's they're so like polar opposite. They should just have the election now is what I'm saying.
What do you think about Rogan hosting the debates?
Is that going to happen?
Did you see it? Yesterday, Trump asked him to. Rogan did a podcast.
I don't envy that position that he's in because you really got to watch it. As long as you have both guys that are in there, because if it's just one guy, they're just sort of using you and Joe's massive like influence. But Joe is smart enough to handle that stuff. But like I would be like
definitely
I don't
smart
want
enough.
this,
And if there's one dude I know and I'm saying if there's only one dude, it is Joe Rogan, who would be so over prepared for that debate. Like he is someone who would shut down, throw his phone away, get on his computer, close out the doors, and focus until that debate happens. I just would never. I mean, obviously, I would never want to be that person because I would just fuck it up and everyone would hate me. I would do the wrong thing. I'd laugh at the inappropriate joke. I'd giggle at what I'd Billy Bush the fuck out of that. But
Billy Bush was babysitting a lunatic. You got him by the pussy. He's like, hey, after that interview, he's probably going like, that guy was out of his fucking mind.
And he took the fucking hit.
He did. He took the hit. The other guy became president. None of that made sense.
He took the fucking hit. Like Jimmy Fallon got shit for tousling Trump's hair. They wanted to cancel him. It's so funny because I am so Billy Bush. Like you could say the most atrocious thing to me. And I go, sure thing, Bill.
I stopped short of that, but I would say that when you're just sitting there, and the thing about Trump too was he was a fucking cartoon character. He was just sort of like, I mean, I know he's a real guy, but he was just sort of he was this funny guy.
Yeah.
He's like going bankrupt and then he has a book, The Art of the Deal. He was just funny. And he put his name on everything. And he was always talking about how much money he had and all this shit he was doing while he's like he's doing a reality show. It's like, how do you have time to run all this shit and shoot a TV show? The whole thing was just funny. Like I just felt like he was like, it was like watching a wrestler, and I was a huge fan of the guy. So like, I think if you were like interviewing him and he's saying all this wild shit, if you're Billy Bush, your job is to get the fucking interview and just be like, oh yeah, okay. And it's just like, and you don't know like half of the shit that he's saying is like, is this what this guy has to do to amp himself up? I just walk up and grab pussies. He sounded like Dave Chappelle doing fucking Rick James. Hold my drink, bitch. Like I felt like he was in that mode. He was like gassing himself up. I don't know, but I did think it was weird. It's like, wait, so this guy, dude, Hollywood is so fucking phony, and those fucking entertainment people. Hi, how you doing? I'm Billy Bush. I mean, they don't even look like real people. So his whole thing is just like acting like he's interested in these people who are obsessed with themselves. It's such a weird fucking job. So I think he was just in entertainment. You got your own bowling alley. Ha ha. Just
yeah.
And then you leave. You're just sitting there going like, what the fuck was that? That was a house of horrors in there. Whatever. Send me the check. I got a mortgage too. Let's go get a taco. And you just fucking leave. But then they take the audio. He was co-signing on sexual assault. It was just like, I mean,
that's the weird thing is that if they got, say they wired your house, right? Say someone broke into your house, wired it, and heard you and Nia saying horrible shit about transgender people or whatever. So, something that
you can just hear that on my podcast.
But what's crazy?
All kinds of horrible shit.
America would never question the guy that wired your house. They would attack you for saying that shit.
I know, because I also hate when they fucking go, if they get like a private cell phone conversation and everybody's talking. I so want to be on a show when somebody asks about that. I'd be like, well, I think that's a private phone conversation, and I think it says a lot about you that you listen to it.
Yeah.
I don't want people listening to my phone calls or repeating my text messages the way I joke and all of that shit. So if I don't want that, then I should extend that same courtesy to other people. That's why I never watch a sex tape. I never watch any of that shit that gets put out of there. And the person's like, I'm mortified. It's like, I 100% understand that. And I don't fucking watch it. It's none of my business.
I watch it, but then I just don't give a fuck. Like Chris Evans texted out his picture of his junk recently. And I was like, oh, I'll click the link, and I saw it, and I was like, okay, nice piece. I was like, whatever. I mean, I don't really care. I'm not appalled. I don't. None of my opinion.
Well, you cared enough to click on it.
Well, yeah, I want to see his dick.